Division Blindee, also known as the 5th Armoured Division in English. So today we will look at the 5th Armoured Division, part of France in WARNO. This is another nation, part of NATO. So let's have a quick look at the units that they have on offer for us to use in the game. Alright, so first and foremost we have the logistics tab. So first we have the TRM 2000 logistics, which has 8 on supply, not too bad, 30-point vehicle just to get around the battlefield to supply. Next, the Puma Kangaroo, I think that's how it's pronounced. Not bad again, 1,500 supply. Kind of your standard sort of supply helicopter. Pretty good, it's quite small as well. It's pretty quick as well. I think it's one of the fastest up there, the Chinook speed, in regards to how quick this thing can get around the battlefield. Nice option there. Next to the P4 PC, command vehicle. Pretty small little vehicle it is. Nice. And then the VAB PC, which has an M2HB machine gun on top, which is nice to see. It actually can defend itself. And lastly, the AMX-10 PC, which is a really nice looking vehicle, actually. I really do like that. Really nice little command vehicle with autocannon. That's probably one of the best. One of the best command vehicles I've seen in the game, to be honest. 525 points is pretty good. Obviously, alongside the tanks, but for an infantry fighting vehicle, command vehicle is pretty good with that autocannon. So if you're up there with some of these Soviet Union vehicles, because they got someone similar along these lines. Not bad front armor as well. Pretty good vehicle, actually, quite frankly. Right, next, moving on to the infantry tab. First, the Privet, or Privot, which is an infantry group, 4-man fire team, with just a MAP 49 machine gun. Just pretty good for bolstering fences. Really, really cheap. 10 points. I think it's one of the cheapest units we've seen in the game. Infantry units, that is. But it could be used to bolster defensive lines. Next are the command chassis. Oh, yeah, chassis. I'm going to pronounce that. If I say it in some of the French accent, it might be correct. Chassis. Or chasseurs. I'm not know, command team. So you've got a 10-man team. Not a bad team, actually. Comes with the AMX-10P, which is a pretty good fighting vehicle. It's not too bad. It comes with an autocannon. It's not a bad fighting vehicle. It's got good armour. But the unit itself only got the FAMAS, which isn't a bad weapon system. As you can see, the stats not too bad. But it does... It's not great. It just comes with that one weapon system, but it's not bad. Next, we've got the Escorte PC, which is an 8-man squad. Which once again, I just have an assault rifle. So I guess another unit that can be used for bolstering defensive lines and can be used to get on the battlefield quickly if you need those units. And then we have, I think, just a standard chassis, which is a 8-man fire team with the FAMAS, AN9, ANF1 medium machine gun, and an anti-tank rocket launcher, the Lirac F1, which isn't a bad weapon system actually as well. Some pretty good weapons, not bad at all. Next, moving on to reservists, where we have a submachine gun with a MAP 49, the MAZ 49 battle rifle, and an AA-52 medium machine gun. Another 10-man team, quite cheap once again, but you got some not the best weapon systems, but it's got you a good mixture there to be quite accurate on any positions potentially. But it's just a good unit to get out on the battlefield. They're quite cheap, so you can kind of get a load of them out at one time. Next, we've got the Command Sapeurs, which is a sapper unit or pioneer unit in the other units divisions. Kit out with the FAMAS and the ANF1 medium machine gun again. Probably a little bit better command unit compared to the command chassis because they've got that medium machine gun and an 8-man fire team as well. But the weapon system, well, the vehicles they can come along with, not that great. We've got an AMX-13, really old style vehicle this, so that definitely is upgrading of some sort. There's a machine gun they can use. Okay, so the Sapeurs, the MAZ 49 and the AANF1 with the Sap Stride as well. Similar sort of weapon systems. And then lastly we have the Sappers Flamethrower version, which has got a MAP 49 and also got the LFP F4 Flame. Also a machine gun. It's not a bad unit actually. For the price, 60 points. It's not bad. But you definitely want to have that variation of the ability to potentially use these units in forest blocks and stuff like that to clear infantry. So that's good you have that option. Next to the Milan 1, which can be kitted out with the AMX-10P Milan. Really good what's called infantry fighting vehicle. This is probably one of the best in the French divisions, which we'll see furthermore, hopefully in another division. Or maybe in this division maybe. Which comes with all kind of and a Milan. You can also get the VAB Milan as well, which have a Milan as well. Not too bad actually. A good mixture. You have a good choice. It depends how you use it. If you want to, I personally use this VAB Milan as a vehicle to sit back and engage, but not a bad mixture actually. And then we have the Milan 2, which still has those weapons, those vehicles to transport them, which is actually a really good unit, quite frankly. Putting this on it, you laugh at 115 points, really good unit, and it can be utilised on the battlefield. I'd love to see them land too. Really good stats on it as well. 62% accuracy, good penetration rate, it's good. Next with the Command, Grenadier Voltigeurs. I hope that's pronounced correctly. With the VAB and the VAB T20-13 with an autocannon as well, so that's not bad actually at all for a transport vehicle, for what it is. These VABs can be pretty good vehicles. They're fast, they're quick to get in the battlefield, and especially the autocannon on top, you're pretty much laughing, especially against infantry. This would be a really good combination with infantry, to be honest. Probably not the best unit, we'll see what these guys are like. So they're just kit out the FAMAS again, which sucks. Let's look at this team. Grenadier Voltigeurs with an L'Arc and an ANF, 1 medium machine gun and FAMAS. Not a bad unit actually. Kitting these out the VAB T20. It's a pretty good unit to take on infantry. Good combination. Really good combination that. It's got a really good rate of fire as well, 199 rounds per minute. Aiming time's 1 second, reloading time 0.8 seconds, so really, really quick. And salvo length lasts 2 seconds. It's not bad at all. Really good vehicle that actually. Then we have the Grenadier Voltigeurs Alplas, which has a better anti-rocket launch system on top. So not bad actually. Really good unit. 55 points. I like that a lot. That rocket system is really good at taking out vehicles. Really good penetration rate. So this is probably what this unit's all about. I would highly recommend these guys if you want to use on units to defend against vehicles. Got a good rate of fire, 20 rounds per minute. Aiming time's 1 second. Reload time's 3. So really good. Next we have the Commandos, which have the SIG 543, the Minimi Para, and the L'Arc F1. A really good combination. I guess these guys are pretty badass at taking out other infantry units. Got good suppression rate at 60 there. And obviously that opportunity to take out enemy vehicles as well. Come on, Super Puma, so you can drop in behind enemy lines and do its job. I love that. Good looking units. This guy looks like he's about to lose his glasses though, to be fair. But nice. Love that. Right, next we have the Group Anticar, if that's how you pronounce that, which has 2 Alpalas. That is ruthless. That is a badass unit. Imagine having that. That is going to be your ultimate godsend against vehicles moving onto position. Really good. This with a combination of, maybe if you combine the Milan, this unit, and maybe a really good infantry unit, that would be just a win-win for defending cities and towns. I would highly recommend that. And it's got a good selection of vehicles. It's got a VAB T21-3, VAB Milan, so you can have that anti-tank capability as well, because it is against vehicles, and then normal VAB and a TRM 2000. Really good combination there in the French units, I must admit. Some good units there. Right, next moving on to the artillery, we have the M0120 millimeter, 120mm mortar. Spoken to these before, really good for support infantry positions and assaults, so definitely I recommend. Then we got the VAB PM81, 82mm on the back of the chassis of a VAB, which is pretty cool. I prefer using mortar vehicles than just normal mortars because they can move around. They're more mobile and counter artillery. That's really good. Then we have AMX AUF1. Jeez, that's a big anti-tank gun, or artillery gun, sorry. That's a monster, isn't it? 24,000 range, pretty good, not bad. It's a good unit. It's not the best I've seen, not the best self-propelled artillery in the game, but they're giving you the capability in this division, which they need to, which is always good to see. Moving on to the tanks, the most important tab in this division here. So first of all, we have the P4 Milan. We've seen this in some of the German and the British divisions, which is quite bizarre, but they're giving a pretty good unit to get around and neutralise vehicles at good range. Then we have the AMX-30 EBG tank gun, the M135. Pretty good at supporting infantry more than anything in this thing. You see the high explosive suppression rate. Really good front armor, or not bad front armor for what it is for the points you're paying, and its roll. So highly recommend this if you're looking at clearing out towns or forests or even supporting infantry. I'd recommend this bad boy. Next to the AMX-30B. Not a bad tank actually. Straight away, 85 points. Ground target range is 2275. 105mm gun. Also an autocannon medium machine gun. I think this is a pretty good unit for medium sort of tank engagements or taking out armor. The only thing is the rate of fire, the reload time is 6 seconds, which is a bit shite. But it's not bad. It's pretty good for taking out soft skin vehicles and maybe even supporting infantry potentially for the autocannon and medium machine gun. So it's kind of a good all rounder. Next with the VAB Mephisto with a Hot 2, really good. What's called anti-ground or ground-to-ground missile there. Penetration is up to 24, suppression rate is 1, ground target is 2625. We can bump that up to 81% actually as well. So a really good unit. 115 points, probably one of the best anti-tank weapon systems on a medium skin vehicle. So I would recommend this. It's probably one of the best. It's pretty cool. And then you've got the AMX 10 Hot as well. So let's just compare these side by side. You're looking at the one on the right, the AMX Hot is just going to give you better armor stats. So highly recommend that if you're going to be in a hot locations. But the difference is the speed as well. The VAB can get around a lot quicker. So just bear that in mind. Depends on how fast you want to move in the battlefield, really. Okay, next move on to the 3 tanks this division has. It's obviously the French are not well known for the tanks at this time period. More nowadays, got the Leclerc and whatnot. But not a bad weapon system to be fair. Not a bad tank. It can obviously hold its own kind of in the game, but it's not great. So we've got the AMX 30 B2 PC. Good range on a tank gun, but the armor's not the greatest. Once again, it's pretty good for supporting infantry. They've got the same platform again, but a non-command variant. And then last, we have the AMX 30 B2 Reconnaissance, which is also once again gives that capability to take on armoured divisions if you have multiple of these armoured tanks. But I wouldn't recommend taking these as your primary armoured division to take on the big boys, because obviously you're looking at the main tanks in this game, looking at 21 to 20 front armour, where this maxes out 13 in the French division, which is kind of falling behind in the armoured divisions for the French. But not bad still. Once again, you have the capability to use tanks to fight on the battlefield. You have these, so not bad. Okay, moving on. And I really like the skin models, look great. Next, we've got the recon vehicles in this game. So first and foremost, we've got the AMX 10 V0A, which isn't bad. Very good optics, mediocre stealth. Just your cheap sort of armoured recon vehicle you can get on the battlefield with a machine gun. Next, we've got the VBL Rico with the M2 on top of it. Really quick, good to get back around the battlefield. Nice little vehicle to be used. Then we have a VBL Milan with a Milan 2 on top. Very good optics, good stealth. Probably a really good unit actually to support in the defensive line of tanks potentially. Because this is going to snipe out vehicles. It's really good penetration. So actually a really good vehicle. You can sneak into a wood block or behind an enemy line and take out a vehicle. It'd be pretty cool to see. Next we have the El Clariers, if that's how you pronounce them. They've got a good selection of vehicles actually. Very good optics and good exceptional stealth. They have the Iraq F1 and the ANN F1 medium machine gun with the La Famas, which is nice to see. Next we have the Luti 3 with the aircraft, you can put that transport, sorry, and VLRA with the 50 machine gun and the P4, so not a bad selection of vehicles. Next are the Luti 3, which is very good optics, and the stealth is bad. That's quite interesting that it's got given a unit quality of excellent, but yet the optics are very good and the stealth's bad. Well, the stealth's going to be bad only for helicopter, but the optics are very good. It's got a unit quality of excellent. It's probably good at price, it's 55 points, quite cheap. But good you got the option to have recon in, air recon. Next to the VAB Racit, 60 points, exceptional optics, so really good to put in defensive lines just to bolster defense, well not bolster defense, but to get your eyes for the units, because this is going to do nothing for defending, but going to be good for getting his eyes on an enemy as soon as they're seen. Next, I'm probably going to say these are probably one of the best recon vehicles in the game, period, for the weapon system it has. I would surpass it. The Bradley's like 120 points, but the Bradley doesn't have a gun like this. Only thing the Bradley has going and compared to this would be the tow launcher, which can fire obviously tow ground-to-ground missiles. But this thing has just got to push in range a little bit further, and then it's going to win most firefights. So you've got the AMX 10 RC. This thing is phenomenal. I love these vehicles. They're really, really good. Highly recommend if you can have this deck, equip these bad boys because they're quality. Straight away from get-go from the start game at the first phase. These things do just snipe. Put them in a little group of these guys. They see the enemy first with their very good optics, and their gun just does damage. Got good front armor, got good penetration of 18, so they can even take out. If you had a group of these from the get-go, you can take out like tanks, main battle tanks for these things. It's really, really good, especially taking out infantry fighting vehicles as well, because people like to rush the infantry fighting vehicles straight away. Some people don't normally buy tanks, but even if they did buy tanks, they can be deployed further back. Whereas this recon vehicle is kind of like deploying a tank further afield, so you can send these straight to the front and prevent any sort of infantry fighting vehicles getting to a town or location before the start of the game. So pretty much your forward position to set up a defense line immediately and take out vehicles and snipe them quite quickly. So probably one of my favourite vehicles in the game that I've seen being utilised against me multiple times. So definitely not I'm going to use. Stop ramming about this one unit I've been talking about for ages. Right, the TRM 2000 Tarasik. It's our first anti-air weapon system with just a F3 T2 20mm anti-air gun. Kind of your cheap air defense unit. Pretty good that it's 15 points on the back of the vehicle, so you can get out on the battlefield quick. Then we have the Mistral, or Mistral, infrared surf-to-air missile. Not bad, 45 points, pretty good accuracy. To be fair for what it is, actually really good accuracy. And obviously exceptional stealth, so not a bad unit at all. We have the AMX-13 DCA, which is an anti-air gun, radar anti-air gun. Not bad stats, helicopter's not great, aircraft's alright, pretty good accuracy. The fire rate, as you can see, the rate of fire is phenomenal, 10,000 rounds per minute, so, and reload time's only 1 second, so really good. Really good bit of kit. And then with the Roland 2 and the Roland 3. Really good weapon system these, because they are radar guided, as you can see. Which sucks a little bit, but the accuracy in these things are really good. You can get up to 81% accuracy, so really good against helicopters and also aircraft, as you can see. So probably a good all-rounder that you can be used. Next, we have the helicopter tab, which doesn't have too many helicopters. But first and foremost, we've got the Gazelle Hot and the Gazelle Hot 2. So it's pretty much your ground-to-ground missile or air-to-ground missile to not neutralise armoured vehicles, stuff like that. So they've got good penetration, suppression rate is 1, obviously. Good ground range. It's not bad. Could be a lot better. Some of them we've seen the patches of 2,800, which is better. So these can take out tanks, armoured fighting vehicles, but bear in mind you can't push them up against AA potentially because they might have a better range, you know. But good you got that option in this deck as well. Moving on to the aircraft tab, we have a load of Jaguars and Mirages, of course we do. So first of all, we've got the Jaguar Seed, with the Gatling gun, anti-radiation missile as well. Good penetration, good stats there actually, quite frankly. 56%, good rate of fire. ECM's not bad. It's quite fast, so not a bad Seed. I've seen better Seed aircraft, but it's good that you got this option once again. Then we've got the anti-tank ground missile Jaguar, which has the AS-30L, penetration of 30. So if this thing hits, it's dead instantly. Anything it gets an instant kill on. We've seen other aircraft with a higher or a lower penetration rate. I think I've seen like 24, 25. I think this is probably one of the highest penetration rates I've seen in a anti-air to ground missile. So really good aircraft that you can utilize. Love to see it. Next are the high explosion version, high explosive, SAMP 2 T2000. Not bad. Ground target is 150 meters, and you get quite close apparently. It looks like with that explosive. I want to check that. That might be right. It might be 1,500, but 150 meters, you need to be like right on top of it, like literally above the fucker. But not bad at all. Love having that capability to potentially use that if you want high explosive in your division. Next, with the Mirage 3E, which has both a long range and short range air-to-air missiles, which is good. Not a bad price, 155. Good speed. Not bad aircraft actually. Good all-rounder. Mirage is a really nice looking aircraft. So I love just the shape of it. It looks really mean and just looks fast, really fast as it is. So you can see by that speed there. Next, with the Mirage F1C 2000, which is pretty much a little bit better version than the 3E. Once again, a really beautiful aircraft. Really good weapon systems as well. Good stats. ECM's not bad. So really good. And a lot faster, as you can see, 1,400, which is pretty much one of the fastest aircraft in the game, I'd say. I think it might be up to the F-15. I haven't really looked at the speed, though. Okay, next with the Mirage 5F Napalm, which gives you 2 or 4 times 250 kilogram unguided napalm bombs. Nice. Having that option is good as well. And then you have the cluster, which is good. So pretty much this division gives you everything you can possibly want. You got air-to-ground missiles, high explosives, seed, 2 really good air-to-air fighters, napalm and cluster. So a ruthless selection of aircraft in this deck if you so want to use more. Alright, so that is the 50 Division Blindee, which is the 5th Armoured Division. I think we've got one more division to look at after this video, and then we can start putting some divisions together and looking to do some actual real battling with them and showing out some tactics and do some comparison videos. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see as well. But the next video is going to be the, I think it's the Infantry Division or the Airborne Division, French Airborne Division potentially. Alright, hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next time.